This is a 21st century literacy project being conducted in a diverse City College classroom. It is a student-centered project with the aim to reach across borders. I received my graduate degree from the School of Education at Berkeley, focused in language literacy and culture, and it was called Private Views to Public Voices. I followed junior high students and high school students looking at their personal responses to their education. The project is about collecting stories. It's about oral histories. As a facilitator, I am bringing to the center my interest, and I have an interest in collecting stories of people in the African diaspora. So here I've created what's equivalent to a book using technology, and what you have here are chapters of interviews from the different places that I've visited. These stories are going to be used with my students for them to understand that they don't have to necessarily be expert in order to create and tell stories. And it is also a way of concentrating on bringing all of their multitasking talents to the center and taking advantage of them for them to create a new form of communication, or one with multiple abilities. The flowchart is a series of visual images that are created to give an explanation of how community is built and what it is that facilitator and students are bringing to the center of the City College classroom in order to be productive. The learning environment is student-centered. We ask questions. The facilitator and the students participate together. We bring the margins to the center. And we ask questions like, who is Denmark Vesey? Where are the women? To build community, we focus on fun, relaxation, trust, and equality. In order to do that, we exchange letters, we have interviews, we play games, we learn common knowledge, we share visual information, we learn about each other's interests, we focus on multiple abilities, and we learn to listen and trust, and we appreciate many languages that enter our environment. We appreciate all aspects of the past, our prior knowledge, as we encounter new information. We share our lived experiences and use those experiences to inform us and to help us construct new knowledge. The relationship between facilitator and student is most important in the student-centered classroom. Therefore, what students bring to the center and what the facilitator brings to the center balances the classroom. It's important to recognize that students are bringing an amazing variety of new information to the classroom, and the facilitator has to balance it with the expertise that she has to offer. Students adapt, and they're being creative with the new technology that's entering their lives now. They are creating new language, texting. Who are you? Are and you taking the place of the words. They're redefining the word friends in their relationships. They are using social networks and publishing, photography, video editing. They are communicating in a more timely manner. In the 21st century, the flow of information is important. The relationship between student and teacher is important. Facilitator is student, and student is facilitator, especially in the 21st century, where critical thinking has become one of the most important abilities for students. In his book, Out of Our Minds, Learning to be Creative, Ken Robinson emphasizes that where before for us change was happening in a matter of years, now for our new generation, it is happening in a matter of seconds. Students are adapting to the new technology as it comes. They are being creative and learning new skills and designing and coming up with new ideas and skills. So this makes it important to be included. As facilitator, the student-teacher relationship is very important. We work together inside and outside the classroom to build knowledge. In this role, I lean on certain readings. Many of them you can find on the reading list. Paulo Freire's Pedagogy of Hope, where he explains the critical relationship being created, reinforces the fact that students are not little black boxes to fill. Feminist Tales highlights the connection between identity and the linguistic world. The academic world is about building bridges between theory and practice. It is about objective analysis. It is about trying to find plausible solutions and explanations for what's happening in the world. So I'll share a few quotes that made an impact on me. You have Bell Hooks in Teaching Critical Thinking, and she says, telling stories is one of the ways that we can start the process of building community, whether inside or outside the classroom. And then we have Audre Lorde and Sister Outsider saying, if I fail to recognize them as other faces of myself, then I am contributing not only to each of their oppressions, but also to my own, and the anger which stands between us then must be used for clarity and mutual empowerment, not for evasion by guilt or for further separation. And then I must end with Paulo Freire's Pedagogy of Hope, where he says something that I think is what students bring to the center and what I bring to the center. He says this about himself. I arrive in Chile with my whole self, passion, longing, sadness, hope, desire, dreams in smithereens but not abandoned, offensive, knowledge stored in the countless fabrics of living experience, availability for life, fears and terrors, doubts, a will to live, and love, and hope especially. As a woman, I think of Patricia Collins' notion of intersectionality. I bring all of me to the world of teaching. I'm inspired by books where I find strong women, black women, women who have survived, women who continue to move on. I think that influences all that I do. It is a strong part of what meets at my intersection, and I want to rise above the collisions and find ways for students. As I come to the end of the introduction for the 21st Century Literacy Project, I encourage you to take a look at the dreamchange103.blogspot.com website. There you'll find examples of student work in the written form, visual, video clips, blogspot entries, and various other kinds.